Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for the 3rd of October. All right, now it's time to work out, we'll check where the major currencies are, find out why they are where they are, and then work out where the next major move is going to come from. Okay, that's what all this is about, each day your analysis. Find out what's happening, see if there's any good trades or momentum across the board, and then work out where the next move is going to come from. So the Aussie had a bit of a nosedive. Now, like yesterday, there was a spike, and I'll have to show you this on the other screen in a second. There's a spike in dollar yuan yesterday, and that coincided with the move down in the Aussie. So I was having a look there across the board there. I couldn't see any extra Trump trade tariff stuff, so I'm just trying to work out where that yuan weakness came from. It was very, very short term. It blipped up, and then it was down 150 points straight away. So that sort of favoured the little bit of a move back up here in the Aussie. The Kiwi, sort of shrugging the Aussie off a little bit, still trading to the downside, but a little bit sideways. Now, Euro broke down through sort of 115 to the 70. Once again, this is always going to happen too. So the Italians have sort of delayed making their budget announcement, which was going to be generally against the EU or the Eurozone sort of rules. Now, what that's done is led a few lawmakers to say, well, you know what, we'd be better off without the EU. And that's also was always the raw nerve to do with Brexit, with the UK going. They want to make it hard on the UK so to make it harder for all these other little countries to do it as well. Now, with that, sterling may have been the catalyst for euro. It's hard to work out which one was pushing which. But once again, the Brexit news, the Tory current ruling party in the UK, everything's blowing up. New rules, no deals. Once again, Brexit is just a random media frenzy. And people are trading headlines. It is all over the shop. Even a week or so ago, we were back above 132. All of a sudden, we're down in 129. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it back at 132 or 127, to be honest. Now, dollar CAD, basically trading sideways. Oil is consolidating around $75. That's keeping a downward pressure on dollar CAD. But the fundamentals all point to a lower dollar CAD. I've still got an order to sell up around 129 the figure. I'll probably reassess that now, because I was expecting that to happen earlier. Last thing I want to do is be selling as it pushes higher through short-term resistance line. We could get run over there, so I'll probably be reassessing that today. And dollar yen also just starting to stall and starting to trade sideways. Not exactly coming off, but it is the run is just slowly coming to a halt. If I just sort of narrow that up, you can sort of see what's happening. The funny thing with dollar yen is, and this is what you've got to be careful of too. Like if you get long a currency pair, right, and where dollar yen is now, you could be long here around the cloud of the 113 sort of 70s. Now, where's the support level? Well, the cloud, that's what the Japanese traders will use. The rest of the traders, it's back at 130.10, so it can actually still move a long way down and clean you up and still stay in that uptrend, right? So just be aware, dollar yen is getting a little bit loose up here around 113.64. All right, let me swing across here to give you a look at the assess what the US dollar and dollar yuan are doing. Okay, the US dollar slowly just moving to the top side. Yeah, you're going to get these little blips up and down, but generally speaking, it is heading north. And this is that little blip on dollar yuan. That sort of led to the Aussie coming off, probably associated with the dollar move, potentially on sterling and euro for that matter. But the yuan usually moves only on Chinese news. Once again, Chinese equities have a sort of close this week on this National Observance Day, which sort of goes a week. So really trading sideways. I can't see too much else going on. Now, if I just come back over here to the major news-wise, just to give you a bit of a rundown, Euro weakens to 6-week low on Italian concerns weight. As I said, they are looking to readopt a national currency. That's every European country, like Greece, now Italy, you'd expect France, Spain, everyone to run towards this. It's only going to take one of them to break off, like the UK, and then the rest should follow. But they will do their utmost to quash this move in Italy. I don't know. I mean, we've seen it in the Greeks a number of times. Every time they go towards a national currency, the EU makes it so hard with the debt that it's just inconceivable that they can leave. Now, dollar CAD clings to NAFTA deal gains. Once again, NAFTA is now out of the way, so dollar CAD can start trading normally. By the way dollar CAD's trading, it looks like to me the market's very short dollar CAD, and we may see a bigger spike than what I sort of first predicted. So That's on the cards there as well. Sterling at 3-week low as government conflict over Brexit escalates. And that's where we are. So you've got, once again, geopolitical situations dominating the moves. And traders, and this is no fault of your own, traders at the banks are just trading headlines. We're seeing, some new Euro news comes out, which is old news almost. Euro drops 30, 50 points, and everyone scrambles, and then it slowly squeezes back to where we are. So when you're trying to work out what's going on in the majors, it's always good to look at the news and see, is this fundamental news like an economic data release or a central bank announcement? Because if it's not, what you might see is just a short-term little blip. And I knew a few of our traders yesterday were short as it went through 115.70. They were rubbing their hands with joy around 115 sort of 20. And I think most of them only made a little bit of cash on the way back out. So, just be careful. Have your targets and stick to those levels, because what you're going to end up doing is locking in cash every day instead of going for that big Hail Mary and hoping it pays off. Now, when you come back to the major pairs, there's not a hell of a lot of difference. Okay, but just getting the MyFX Trading Hub up. Once again, tracking and planning out the next sort of 24 hours of trading is very important. Okay, so what we've got is, we've still got geopolitical situations, providing short-term random momentum. That's the problem with geopolitics. It's random and it's short-term, right? Now, once again, we've got the UK services PMI, which is the third bit of data in a row. We've got the ISM non-manufacturing. So coming into Wednesday, the market will be looking for something tangible to hit. Now, the Aussie to me has got a much better setup than sterling. Like sterling to me it's like too hard. Like, Brexit news is so random. I want control of my trade, and I don't really get it with sterling. So I'm going to be watching this data, looking for momentum. But you know what? At the back end of the trade, if I do trade, it's going to be a very short term. The US dollar, well, it's just going on its merry way. And if this data is strong, then it does support the US dollar slowly going to the top side once again. So once we get through today, then it really comes down to Thursday. There's nothing really coming out. So Friday's trading is going to be the big trade day for me. Aussie retail sales, US non-farm payrolls, and Canadian employment numbers as well. That's where the big deal is. To me, at the moment, it's still a little bit too random, and it's because of this geopolitical stuff. It's good NAFTA's out of the way, dollar CAD is on the cards, but with the rest of the pairs, it's pretty much business as usual. These currencies are doing exactly as they were 2 days ago, and this is the same analysis, snapshot. Like, this is the direction they're going. But what we're seeing is we're seeing short-term moves, and traders are jumping on them, think it's going to be the next big trade, but it's geopolitical events. What we are going to have later in the week is fundamental releases, and that's where they're going to be focusing very closely on the US dollar. Right? They're already factoring in 3 rate hikes for 2019. If the non-farms are really strong once again, well, you know what? It just firms up that situation and gives traders confidence to go longer US dollars again. Right? That's what we're really waiting for. We're waiting for the clean trade. At the moment, it's a little bit all over the shop. All we can watch is the upcoming releases. So sterling's obviously going to be in the firing line with UK and US numbers. So keep a close eye on that as we go forward. And that's pretty much all we've got, guys. It's one of those sessions where you're just going to keep an eye on things. China's on holidays, so there's not a huge amount of activity going on through the Aussie and Kiwi. We are seeing spikes here. The market will be getting short these pairs. I mean, a little bit disappointed I didn't get on this move back down through sort of 72.20, but this trend line wasn't here yesterday, and it was trading sideways, so a little bit blip down. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Aussie test back towards 72.20. Kiwi seems to be pretty steady at this stage, and there's no major Kiwi news this week, so it's really going to come down to the US dollar, what happens with the Kiwi. And the US dollar, as we saw before, is just trading to the top side, the dollar index. And just be careful with dollar yen. It's got room to just go up, but there's a long way back to support. So if you are long, make sure you've got trailing stops there. Euro, what we've been doing with Euro is interesting because we've just been slowly moving the resistance line. It sort of has a blip down, trade sideways, blip down, sideways. It's like this little stepping stone. At some stage, we will, this is what you're going to be really careful of. The Italian news that's coming out is driven by the media. Now, if some, and we saw this on the Greek stuff, if we do get some change, like a quick change, no, there's no chance of a national currency. Euro will be back at 117 before you know it. This whole move has been based on the Italian delay of the Italian budget and talk of a national currency again. So just be aware of that. Now, Brexit here, look at, I mean, sterling is just all over the place, and a little bit of mixed UK data, but Brexit is a major headache for traders, especially in the UK. I know a lot of my mates at the banks are actually really scratching their head and probably staying away from it. Dollar CAD, as I said, back in the groove. Oil's at 75.19. All the fundamentals point to the downside, but the way it's trading sideways, to me, looks like the market's short. So we may see a bit of a relief bounce here, and I will be reassessing that pending order I have in dollar CAD back towards 129. I think we could see it pop back up towards 129, sort of 50, 60. All right, guys, that's it from me. There's not much else to go through. It's pretty steady Eddie. There's a few releases to keep an eye on, but Asian session, it's going to be pretty quiet unless we hear something random out of Trump or someone else. All right, guys, have a good trade day. We'll see you in the live trade zone. Cheerio.